I didn't expect media will be so dishonest and so mean. I didn't expect that. Also for me, from the beginning.
Right now, Melania Trump is launching a nuclear $100 million defamation lawsuit against The View. And it's not just a legal battle, it's a reckoning. Sunny Hostin, the show's fiercest critic of the Trumps, is now in the crosshairs. Did her fiery rants go too far? Could this lawsuit erase her career and redefine what's fair game for talk shows forever?
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just ignorant. A tiny sample of the social media backlash. These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what The View's audience loves. It's targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate.
This isn't just about hurt feelings. It's about proof, privacy, and a first lady who's done playing nice. We've got the leaked legal documents, The View's panic behind the scenes, and the shocking moment Melania's team said, game over. Whether you're Team Melania, Team Free Speech, or just here for the chaos, this is the legal hurricane no one saw coming. Stay right here. We're breaking down every secret, every threat, and the one comment that might have just ended The View. For years, the talk show targeted her over petty grievances, mocking her holiday decor, speculating about her hatred of Christmas, and slamming her Rose Garden redesign. But now, the gloves are off. When Melania broke ranks with Trump's camp to voice pro-choice beliefs, individual freedom should never be silenced. The View didn't applaud her courage.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth.
Instead, they pounce like vultures, twisting her stance into a hypocritical anti-Trump agenda.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
But this time, Melania isn't staying quiet. Her $100 million defamation lawsuit isn't just about revenge. It's a reckoning. Legal experts call it a nuclear strike against toxic media rhetoric, threatening to dismantle The View's credibility and end careers. Behind the scenes, producers are panicking, hosts are scrambling, but the damage is done. The backlash is brutal. Major media outlets are slamming The View's blatant hypocrisy and the fact-free frenzy. Fox News called out the host for recklessly polarizing debates and treating a first lady like a punchline.
A tiny sample of the social media backlash. These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what The View's audience loves. It's targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate.
Trump just smashed The View's biggest lie when he publicly declared,
The former president says he thinks his wife should be allowed to think for herself.
We spoke about it, and I said, you have to write what you believe. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have to write what you believe.
It wasn't just support. It was a savage slap to the show's puppet narrative. The same hosts who painted her as a robotic first lady, they're now scrambling to explain why their hypocritical script just burned to ash. Melania is not just fighting back, she's rewriting the rules, and The View, they're out of moves. But here's the million-dollar mystery nobody can ignore. Why is The View so obsessed with destroying Melania Trump? Is it her refusal to play the political wife, her icy silence that terrifies them, or just pure hypocrisy? The View's vendetta reeks of double standards. Critics are blasting Sunny Hostin's toxic obsession and Joy Behar's cringe-worthy meltdowns over a woman who thinks for herself.
Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View. And look, The View is not the litmus test of America.
Sunny Hostin's latest meltdown proves The View's obsession has hit peak delusion. Melania Trump advocates for women's autonomy, and Sunny's takeaway? She's divorcing Trump and quitting as First Lady. Let's dissect this insanity.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Sunny's fantasy spin. She's done with Trump and fleeing the White House. Even basic logic can't survive The View's agenda. Critics are calling it hallucinatory storytelling, a desperate ploy to paint Melania as a rebel because she dared to defy their expectations. In the midst of all this, one thing's for sure, The View's credibility is crumbling. and it's not quiet.
This is a network that still runs out fact checks to these women, like it's concerned about them staying factual. She hates Trump. She doesn't want to be near him. She doesn't want to be president again. She destroyed the Rose Garden, and she hates Christmas. That is what passes for news on a network they did a presidential debate on.
But wait, if we look at Melania's pro-choice campaign historically, it has been proven time and time again that this is more of a political equilibrium decision than a personal one.
Every single first lady, including every single Republican first lady, has supported abortion. I think that's a sad fact.
The View's vendetta against Melania Trump isn't random, it's strategic. For years, radical platforms like theirs have weaponized one playbook: destroy the First Lady to control the narrative. Why? Because a silenced Melania means no threat to their uninterested, powerless wife stereotype. But this time, their plan's backfiring. Badly. Looking back, this isn't the first time The View has been involved in a smear campaign against Melania. Their previous remarks about Carrie Underwood have sparked intense debate on their morality. Joy Behar criticized the country music superstar for agreeing to sing at President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, questioning how Underwood could reconcile her love for America with supporting someone Behar described as a convicted felon, who, in her words, wants to destroy the country.
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion?
Underwood was set to perform America the Beautiful at Trump's inauguration on January 20th. While Behar's remarks were cutting, co-host Alyssa Farah-Griffin quickly pushed back, noting that millions of Americans voted for Trump and still deeply love their country. Griffin emphasized, there are plenty of Americans who supported Trump who also love our country. It's not as simple as you're making it sound. Despite this staged pushback, it was no secret that Alyssa's words were no more than lip service. Critics believe The View is going all out in its efforts to cut back on public figures who show support for Trump. Some argue that Behar's comments were part of a broader pattern of attempting to cancel anyone associated with the former president. Underwood's decision to perform, they claim, became the latest target in the show's perceived agenda to silence Trump's supporters. Social media has been ablaze with fans rallying to defend Underwood, asserting that her performance of America the Beautiful is a celebration of the country, not an endorsement of any political figure. With Underwood now caught in the crossfire, one thing is clear: this debate is far from over. In addition to that, Melania has been clear that The View's hosts keep pushing conspiracy after conspiracy, from holiday decor scandals to shamelessly implying her marriage is a fraud. Why obsess over her private life instead of, say, policy? Simple. A private Melania can't defy their script. A silent Melania can't expose their hypocrisy. But Melania wasn't born yesterday, so she sees through their schemes. In an interview with CNN, she said,
I feel it's a troubling trade in this country that we are canceling people that they don't agree on certain issues.
Listing off Underwood's history of being pro-American, Hasselbeck lambasted Behar's claims about the singer, calling her statements ridiculous. She wants us to believe that about Carrie Underwood, who won American Idol by American votes, who had an album and tour called All American Girl, who actually has spent more time on USO tours, serving and helping and donating money to our nation's finest, our military, their families, and our veterans, is about to perform America the Beautiful at the historic event of the inauguration of the President of the United States of America. And you better believe Hasselbeck spared no words to expose Joy's underhanded tactics.
What Joy is up to is nothing more than selfish personal publicity gain right now. She wants to attach her name to Carrie Underwood's name so that she maintains relevance because they know the ship is sinking.
Melania Trump has opened up about how the media's portrayal of her and her husband, Donald Trump, shifted dramatically once he announced his bid for the presidency. In a candid revelation, the former First Lady admitted she had been closely monitoring media coverage surrounding her husband and braced herself for the storm that was about to unfold. From accusations of scandal to endless scrutiny of her every move, Melania believes the change was intentional. She pointed out that this shift was not just about Donald Trump, but also extended to her personal life, with every decision she made dissected and criticized.
As soon he announced that he's running for the president, everything really changed. And I saw it and I said, this will not be very pleasant, but I knew what he's into it.
Since Melania herself has been subjected to harsh criticism, she has been openly speaking about the divide in America, all thanks to false news and agenda-based schemes.
We need to respect our freedom.
You might not believe that in an attempt to drum up drama in Trump's personal life, The View's hosts even participated in the body double controversy a few years back. And they are back at it again. Donald Trump's stunning victory in the 2024 U.S. presidential elections has had at least one unforeseen consequence: the resurgence of an old and wild conspiracy theory. The Melania Trump we see accompanying the president-elect is allegedly a body double. Yes, you did not read that wrong. A photo of Donald and his wife Melania, sporting a pair of dark sunglasses, voting at the Morton and Barbara Mandrell Recreation Center in Palm Beach, Florida, on November 5th, was widely shared with this ludicrous claim. Similar photos and videos from the polling booth have been published by many American news agencies. The conspiracy was debunked instantly by a Snopes report saying, "In-person voters in Florida bring identification or sign an affidavit of identity or vote on a provisional ballot if they don't have identification. Anyone pretending to be Melania at the polling station would be in violation of election rules." But as we have already established earlier, the HQ at The View did not let it slide and literally tried to convince people to look into it.
I wasn't going to go along with this, but that one in that picture doesn't look like her.
You weren't going to go. Now you will.
No, it's a different shaped face.
I'm ashamed to say, I spent like an hour on Saturday involved in this.
Well, when The View decided to participate, Trump stepped up to personally speak on the ridiculous controversy.
Quote, "The fake news photoshopped pictures of Melania, then propelled conspiracy theories that it's actually not her by my side in Alabama and other places. They are only getting more deranged with time."
Let's be real. The View's obsession with Melania Trump isn't about accountability. It's about desperation. When you can't attack the president's policies, what's left? Nitpick his wife's Christmas decorations, mock her wardrobe, spin her pro-choice stance into a soap opera divorce plot. Why? Because actual criticism requires facts, and facts aren't their forte. The more absurd their takes, the more they expose their agenda. Critics are blasting The View for weaponizing pettiness to dodge real debates.
If she wasn't doing all these initiatives that she's doing on her own, as her own person, building her own thing, she would be accused of just being a Stepford wife.
Even Trump's opponents are cringing, but The View's hosts don't care. Their goal isn't truth, it's chaos. The messier the drama, the more they profit. But to be honest, with a hefty $100 million lawsuit on their way, there isn't much they can do.
This is it. I will fight for myself. I will fight for my name. They cannot damage my name and my reputation because it's not true. I don't listen to anybody about what to do, what to say it, when to do interviews.
Former First Lady Melania Trump is speaking out about the terrifying elimination attempts on her husband's life, including the chilling details of the July shooting at his campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And she's got some serious questions.
The attempt to end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy. I can't help but wonder, why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech?
In a fiery interview with Fox News, Melania didn't hold back, revealing the moment she learned of the attacks and raising doubts about what really happened that day. The July 13th shooting left Trump and several others wounded, with one person tragically dead. But here's the twist. Melania isn't buying the official story. "It's fascinating how everything went so quiet so fast," she said, sounding frustrated. "1 minute, the media's reporting, then nothing, just silence. No updates, no new details, nothing. That's not normal. I had a lot of questions. What's going on here?" Melania's words make you wonder, what are they hiding? Why did the media drop the ball? Why did the investigation lose steam after just a few days? Could there be more to this story than we're being told? Her comments aren't just raising eyebrows, they're pushing people to question whether the public is being kept in the dark. And as the investigation drags on, her doubts and questions only seem to grow louder. Could this shooting have deeper implications, or is the truth being buried? The answers may not be as simple as they appear.
I saw how they treat him, how the media was against him. I think they are afraid of his strength.
The First Lady also blamed the elimination attempts partly on rhetoric from Democrats. She said that by labeling her husband a threat to democracy, they were fueling a toxic atmosphere, and she called for the country to unite. Is it really shocking that all this egregious violence goes against my husband, especially that we hear the leaders from the opposition party and mainstream media branding him as threat to democracy, calling him vile names? They are only fueling a toxic atmosphere and giving power to all of these people that want to do harm to him. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. The country needs to unite. This $100 million lawsuit isn't just about the money. It's a bold move to hold the media accountable. It's a clear message that enough is enough.
I don't want to hire too many people on my team and spending too much taxpayer money. I want to make sure that every position, they are talented, they have merit, they know what they're doing. He's raw. He will say it as he feels it. So, I know he respects women, but he's defending himself.
Melania Trump said that the fact that Trump survived both attempted eliminations was miraculous, and suggested he was spared to serve an important purpose to the American people. I think both of the events, they were really miracles. If you really think about it, the July 13th incident was a miracle. Like that much. And he could not be with us, she said. I think something was watching over him. I think it's almost like the country really needs him. The outcome of this legal war isn't just about Melania or The View. It's about rewriting the rules for every talk show, celebrity, and political figure in America. If Melania wins, every media host will sweat over their next punchline. If The View survives, they'll double down on free speech and drag every public figure into the mud. So, where do you stand? Drop your thoughts in the comments and smash like if you're obsessed with this feud. Want every explosive update? Subscribe now. We're tracking every legal grenade, every shady tweet, and every meltdown from Sunny Hostin's War Room.